But first, Chinese President Xi is wrapping up his two-day visit in Cuba. That is the last leg of his tour through Latin America. And during his visit, the two sides signed dozens of agreements in a wide range of areas. Michael Voss joins us now live from Havana with the details. Hi, Michael.
Hello, Philip. Both Xi Jinping and Raul Castro left Havana Wednesday morning and flew to Cuba's second city, Santiago. It was devastated, the whole region, 2 years ago by Hurricane Sandy, and China was one of the first countries to provide relief assistance. Before they left the capital, both sides signed a total of 29 accords. There were interest-free loans for infrastructure projects, including a new port terminal in Santiago, plus plans to invest in Cuba's biotechnology and pharmaceutical sector, and to build a Chinese-built golf course just outside of Havana, to name but a few. President Xi is looking to strengthen President Raul Castro's economic reform program. But just because Cuba is opening its door to foreign investment, don't expect it to follow and copy the Chinese model.
There are some notable changes on the streets of Havana these days. Thousands of small, privately run businesses, from simple fruit sellers to fine restaurants, are competing for customers. When it comes to larger enterprises, from factories to telecommunications, unlike in China, they all remain firmly in state hands.
Cuba is not building a market economy. An important part of Cuban reforms has to do with decentralization of power. We need more technology, we need more capital, but to develop economic growth, we don't need to get back to capitalism. We don't need to a highly inegalitarian and unequal society.
At the 6th Communist Party Congress in 2011, President Raul Castro, accompanied by his retired older brother Fidel, launched the first major overhaul of Cuba's Soviet-era economic model.
President Raul Castro has opted for a gradual reform process. No big bangs or sudden shocks that could lead to mass unemployment or social unrest.
The Cuban model aims to make the state sector work more efficiently while opening the door to foreign investment. A tax-free special development zone is under construction around the new container port at Mariel. Several Chinese companies are looking at joint ventures there to produce and export Cuban-developed pharmaceuticals. But many other potential foreign investors are waiting to see just how business-friendly Cuba is and whether they can make a profit here.
Philip, some Chinese businessmen also appear to be taking a wait-and-see approach. And despite all these cooperation agreements, we haven't had any concrete details yet of investment joint venture projects in this new special development zone at Mariel.
Michael, maybe you can help our audience a bit. I mean, it's no secret that China and Cuba have a special relationship. Help us understand why these agreements are so important, and perhaps a little more color on how much money we're talking about in terms of dollar figures.
Well, this is a critical point in Cuba's modernization program. The economy is not growing. It needs to move along faster, and yet at the same time, Cuba is sort of wary about pushing too far, too fast. China is certainly helping with all sorts of aid for infrastructure. It's also provided some credit now to extend and write back Cuba's debt to China. Interestingly, though, the one thing we don't have is any details on what exactly are the figures, the sum, how much is China lending Cuba and giving in credit. In Brazil, for example, Xi Jinping talked about $7.5 billion, $7 billion in Argentina. In Venezuela, there was a $4 billion deal of credit to be paid off with Venezuelan oil. There's been a lot of agreements signed here. They are important for Cuba, but so far we don't know the value of them.
All right. Michael, keep an eye on those numbers. Always good to see you. Thank you. Live for us from Havana.